Days of Our Lives preview video for the week of November 24th, 28 reveals that Chad DiMera will go missing while Rachel Black makes a shooter confession and Gabby Hernandez makes a risky move. Duel's weekly promo kicks off with Rachel admitting to Brady Black that Kristen DiMera didn't shoot Uncle EJ DiMera. Brady may think Rachel needs to accept Kristen's crime, but it seems Rachel will confess she was the shooter instead now that she's remembered the incident. At the Horton house, Charlotte DiMera will cheerfully wish for Daddy to come back home, so her Chad-related wish will make things awkward with Jennifer Horton Devereaux and Thomas DiMera. Charlotte will understandably want Chad there for Thanksgiving, but Jennifer may assume Chad's keeping his distance for Thomas's sake. In reality, Chad will get kidnapped and thrown in the DiMera crypt, where Kristen and Tony DiMera are already being held hostage. This DiMera family reunion will bring more questions and concerns about what's really going on. Over with Tate Black. Days spoilers say he'll join Holly Jonas, Ariana, Ari Hernandez, and Aaron Green for a Friendsgiving celebration. Later, Tate will get updates on Rachel's alarming crisis and sit by her bedside with Brady once she's hospitalized. Rachel may have to be sedated if she gets too worked up over shooting EJ and the chain reaction of drama it caused for Kristen. After Alex Kyriakis and Stephanie Johnson have drinks with Chanel Dupree DiMera, they'll attend a Thanksgiving gathering at the pub. Stephanie and Alex will join Roman Brady, Kate Roberts Brady, Kayla Johnson, and Steve Johnson as they share a meal with hearts full of gratitude. As for Belle Black, Days spoilers say she'll have a sweet gift for Marlena Evans. Since Marlena can't come home for Thanksgiving, Belle will insist on bringing Thanksgiving to her instead. At the Hernandez house, Gabby will make a risky move by inviting Philip Kyriakis to celebrate the holiday with her family. That'll give Gabby a chance to grow closer to Philip, while keeping secrets that are destined to blow. Philip will make a speech and indicate that he's thankful for loyalty, but Days fans know Gabby betrayed him when she worked with Tony to undo the Titan-DiMera merger. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Gabby won't get away with that forever, so stay tuned to find out when Philip will uncover that shocking news. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, November 24th, reveal that fans will see angry Brady Black's interrogation before Rachel Black spins out. Marlena Evans will also blast EJ DiMera. So let's talk about all the duel drama ahead. For starters, it looks like EJ will check on Marlena Evans at the hospital, where she'll rip into him over all the budget cuts and errors since her diagnosis was delayed. Now that Marlena is being treated for Lyme carditis, she'll lash out over EJ's penny pinching since it affected her health. Over with Kayla Johnson, she'll have some important updates for Belle Black. Days spoilers say Kayla will have some news to pass along, so we'll see if that involves Marlena's condition or her recent lab visit. Kayla wanted to find out for herself what EJ was up, but she didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Mark Green kept his mouth shut while Dr. Wilhelm Rolf hid, so Kayla doesn't have any reason to stand against EJ's secret research for now. That research will move forward, so Leo Stark will continue to wonder what's really going on in the new wing and high-security lab. As for Gwen von Leuschner, she'll confront Leo and perhaps wonder what the holdup is when it comes to his search for Dmitri von Leuschner. Gwen is trying to get Leo out of town on a wild goose chase, but Leo may argue that he wants to spend Thanksgiving with Javi Hernandez before he does anything else. Of course, there's a good possibility Dmitri is actually in the giant crate that was delivered to the new hospital wing, so Gwen will have more secrets to keep from Leo on Monday's Days episode. At the pub, Sarah Horton Kyriakis' life will be on the line now that she's eaten the pistachio ice cream Rachel slipped in her sundae glass. Rachel tried to stop Sarah at the last second, but Sarah had already taken a bite and is now showing signs of a scary allergic reaction. Seeing Sarah in distress triggered a horrible memory for Rachel, who now recalls shooting EJ. Days spoilers say Brady will angrily interrogate Rachel over what she did to Sarah, but he may end up even more concerned if she melts down over EJ's shooting and Kristen DiMera taking the fall for her. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Sarah will recover, but Rachel will have a lot of trauma to work through soon enough. Days of Our Lives spoilers hint that Rachel Black may be gearing up for a mental institution stint. This problem child needs serious help, so let's hope Rachel will get it. Duel fans know Rachel has always been a schemer, but her plots have grown increasingly dangerous. It's clear that this goes beyond a naughty streak. Rachel has some major issues that need to be addressed by professionals. Although Rachel sometimes opens up to Marlena Evans and has therapy sessions with Dr. Fuller, none of that's enough. Rachel never learns her lesson when it comes to targeting other people and is honestly getting worse instead of better. After doing some internet research, Rachel decided to use Sarah Horton Kyriakis's pistachio allergy against her. That led to Rachel sneakily ordering pistachio ice cream in her own sundae and plopping some of it into Sarah's sundae next. Rachel at least tried to stop Sarah in the end, but it was too late. The fact that Rachel was willing to create this life-threatening situation in the first place is a huge deal. This behavior isn't normal, so Belle Black needs to stop pretending he can handle Rachel's struggles. Rachel's allergic reaction plot comes on the heels of her recruiting Thomas DiMera for all that pumpkin-throwing drama. Since Rachel is constantly creating risky messes, Day's viewers can tell she needs additional guidance when it comes to her mental health. Of course, Rachel's going to need more help than ever now that she's remembered she was E.J. DiMera's shooter. Since Rachel had a shocking flashback in Day's November 21st episode, she's sure to have another meltdown. Although Rachel was previously so traumatized that she blocked it out, the memory has resurfaced and is ready to torment her. Nowadays, spoilers say Rachel will realize Kristen DiMera gave a false confession to protect her, so that'll add to the mental anguish of it all. Will Rachel finally be pushed over the edge and need more help than Brady can give her? Will Rachel land in a mental health facility and hopefully get her life on the right track? Days of Our Lives spoilers say Rachel will have plenty of awful news to wrap her head around, so stay tuned for updates on all the chaos. It's Thanksgiving in Salem, and celebrations are happening all over town. However, one family spends the holiday at the hospital praying for one of their own, as teased in the latest Days of Our Lives preview. As they wait at the hospital, after Rachel poisons Sarah with pistachio ice cream, the little girl confesses to her dad what she suddenly remembered. She shot EJ. Well, the good news is that her mom isn't in prison for her crime anymore. Of course, the bad news is that Kristen's trapped in the DiMera crypt with Tony. At the Hortons, as Jennifer sets the table with Thomas and Charlotte's help, the little girl wishes for her dad to come back home. Poor Chad was chased out by Jennifer, who is suing him for custody of his own kids. It looks like Aaron, Ari, Tate, and Holly celebrate the holidays by toasting to their friendship. It must be Friendsgiving that has brought them together. Belle surprises Marlena, who is sadly still in the hospital, and reveals her family decided to bring Thanksgiving to her this year. Elsewhere, Philip joins Gabby and the Hernandez family and has a lot to be thankful for, while the Bradys gather at the pub for their holiday feast. Finally, what has happened that has Brady and Tate hovering over Rachel, who lies in a hospital bed? Did the poor girl have a mental break over shooting her uncle, leading her mother to go to jail in her place? When EJ declines Susan's request at the mansion to check in on Marlena, she picks up vibes that he did something wrong. He admits Marlena's diagnosis may have been missed due to staffing shortages. Susan shames her son for being a penny pincher. He asks her to use her vibes to locate Kristen and Tony instead, but she's got nothing. EJ's so surprised. What she is picking up on is Stefano's evilness in every nook and cranny of the house. As they plan their Thanksgiving takeout meals, thanks to a frozen turkey, Aaron laments to Mark that his son won't be at their family dinner. He knows giving him up for adoption was the right decision, but he has so many questions, and he's not even allowed to see Sophia. Mark encourages him to ask her mother again for permission. Before Ari heads off to her Friendsgiving, she rants to Gabby about Sophia's unforgivable actions. Gabby won't excuse what Sophia did, but she, too, made very bad decisions when she was a teen mom. Gabby tears up as she tells Ari, for the first time, how she agreed to marry Nick Fallon, who wanted to pass himself off as Ari's father and raise her in a traditional household. Thankfully, Chad stepped in. She cries, pointing out that Sophia was alone and pregnant and didn't feel like she could turn to her own mother. To be in a position like that is not easy. After getting Mrs. Choi's permission, Aaron brings Ari with him to visit a catatonic Sophia at Bayview. Aaron tearfully says he would have been there for her had she told him about the baby sooner. However, their son has been adopted by a fantastic couple, and he's going to have a great life. Sophia stares unblinkingly ahead. Aaron promises her everything will be okay, and Ari encourages her to focus on getting better. After they leave, Sophia blinks. After Kayla prescribes ice cream for Sarah's post-divorce blues at the pub, she passes Brady and a glum Rachel on her way out. Rachel acts pleased to see that Sarah is there, but scowls behind Brady's back. When they join Sarah for ice cream, Rachel gets testy with Sarah and privately asks Roman to change her ice cream from vanilla to pistachio. Before Roman brings the sundaes to the table, Rachel secretly spoons some of her pistachio ice cream into Sarah's bowl. Back at the table, Rachel drops the bomb that she knows she was switched at birth. After Brady and Sarah pick their jaws off the floor, Sarah gently confirms what happened. Now, Rachel is not only her favorite patient, but also one of the brightest lights of her life. Brady is sorry his daughter had to find out this way, but now Rachel has an extra person to love her very much. As Sarah spoons her ice cream, Rachel yells for her not to eat it, but it's too late. Brady rushes to Sarah's side as she struggles to breathe. "Rachel, what did you do?" he exclaims. Roman calls 911 and Brady searches for Sarah's EpiPen. As a horrified Rachel watches, she remembers shooting EJ. In the square, Gabby unsuccessfully avoids Susan, who knows she's hiding something. It has something to do with work, or romance, or both. Susan shivers, knowing the secret is a doozy. After a tense run-in with Mark in the square, Kayla goes on a clinic tour with EJ. She's pleased with the clinic launch, but she's not so happy about him hiring a criminal like Mark Green. EJ points out that Mark is working on a privately funded project. Kayla wants to see the lab. In the lab, Mark watches as Rolf injects Versavix into a deceased test subject. Later, Rolf panics upon viewing Kayla with EJ on his tablet. When EJ brings Kayla inside the lab, Mark greets them alone. Kayla is reluctantly satisfied, but declares she will be checking on him. After they leave, Rolf emerges from a secret tunnel behind a cabinet. Days of Our Lives spoilers hint that Salemites love playing musical chairs when it comes to romance. One day, Belle Black is dating EJ DiMera, and the next, she could be dating Chad DiMera. Will these brothers switch partners? It feels as if the drama is about to explode in the little town, and love may be at the center of it all. Chad is going through a lot as of late. His heart still belongs to Kat Green, but he's trying to move on with things and prove to his mother-in-law, Jennifer Horton Devereaux, that he's over Kat. Jennifer is itching to launch a custody battle for Chad's children because of his romance with Kat, so Chad recently set up a profile on a dating app to show substantial evidence that he's interested in exploring other dating options. During the Wednesday, November 19th episode, Belle caught a glimpse of Chad's profile as a perfect match. Whiskey! Let the chaos begin. While that love story starts, another slowly unravels. It turns out that Kat and EJ were at the same hospital many moons ago when EJ was recovering from a gunshot wound that Clyde Weston organized, and Kat was recovering from the car accident she was involved in. At the time, EJ's face was bandaged, and Kat would read to her unknown patient friend from Wuthering Heights. Thanks to flashbacks, both have recalled this memory, but neither has yet to confirm that they remember each other. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that EJ and Kat could gravitate toward a romance. Plus, with Belle recently breaking up with EJ and the dating app setting her up with Chad, the DiMera brothers could swap love interests. But will these romances create a wedge between EJ and Chad? The two siblings are close, despite being very different, so it'll be interesting to see how they navigate through all this. Days of Our Lives spoilers are in for Monday, November 24th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Brady Black to demand answers from Rachel Black. Kayla Johnson confides in Belle Black. Plus, Gwen Rischek von Leuschner corners Leo Stark. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start with Sarah Horton Kyriakis. The woman was having ice cream with Rachel and Brady. Then, the little girl switched the orders, so Sarah consumed the pistachio she's allergic to. However, When Rachel heard the story of the kidnapping, she realized she had made a horrible mistake. Unfortunately, it was too late as Sarah already started having a severe allergic reaction. The ambulance is on the way, and Sarah nodded that she had an EpiPen in her purse, so she will likely survive. However, there are going to be serious consequences for Rachel. Fans also know that Rachel just remembered shooting EJ DiMera. So, the little girl will be doubly horrified by her actions. While she might try to apologize, she has nearly killed people. More than once. So, this little girl probably needs to go to Bayview for a while. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, November 24th reveal that Kayla shares news with Belle. The blonde will likely tell the lawyer that EJ hired Mark Green to work at the free clinic. Belle doesn't want anything to do with EJ. However, I could see her playing a game to find out information. Belle already blames EJ for Marlena Evans's delayed diagnosis, so she would love to find intel to punish him. As for Marlena, she will confront EJ. The woman will demand to know the truth. However, EJ is getting more devious as time goes on. While it's clear EJ loves his family, he does all the wrong things to prove it. Now we have EJ ordering Mark and Dr. Wilhelm Rolf to perform experiments on dead people. Read this. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers cat. Pregnant. Chad must choose between Thomas and baby. Regarding Leo, expect him to get cornered by Gwen. The woman will want to know just how much information Leo has. Gwen might even pretend to care that Leo lost baby T. Under normal circumstances, Leo might be too alert to fall for Gwen's fake sympathy. However, Leo could use support right now, so he might make the mistake of trusting his former best friend. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Monday, November 24th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Gabby Hernandez recently opened up to her daughter. In the episode that aired on Friday, November 21st, 2025, Gabby admitted to Ari Horton about her lies when she was pregnant with her. The mother also expressed empathy for Sophia Choi. So, what does this mean for the Bayview patient's future? Keep reading, and let's talk about the possibilities. Fans watched in Friday's episode as Gabby and Ari were spending some time together. After Ari conned the Thanksgiving desserts from her mother, the topic of Sophia came up. Ari admitted to her mother that she was Sophia's friend for a long time, but wants nothing to do with her ever again. That is certainly understandable, considering everything Sophia did. After all, Ari and Holly Jonas suffered the consequences after the dorm fire, which was Sophia's fault. However, Gabby had a lot of empathy for Sophia. Ari was a bit surprised by this, but got to learn a bit more about her mother's history. Gabby told Ari about getting pregnant with her right after high school. Will Horton was conflicted about relationships back then. When Gabby found out she was pregnant, she was already dating Nick Fallon. Nick had convinced her that it would be better to not tell the truth about the baby's father. The truth came out, but Gabby still feels guilty. The woman broke down telling Ari the story. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that after Gabby's confession, Aaron Green showed up. Interestingly enough, Aaron asked Ari to come with him to visit Sophia at Bayview. Ari agreed, and they went to the psychiatric hospital. Fans recall that Aaron told Sophia that the baby was adopted by a great family. However, Aaron didn't tell her that the family was Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree DiMera. Then, Ari and Aaron both wished Sophia would get better soon and told her so. Aaron and Ari weren't sure if Sophia could hear what they said. However, fans know that after the pair left, Sophia's eyes showed a lot of emotion. It appeared that she was about to cry. So, the girl could be soon reaching a breakthrough in her mental health treatment. The soap has been doing some mentorship storylines, which is a nice change. Abe Carver is mentoring a troubled young man in literacy. Perhaps Gabby could mentor Sophia when she's released from Bayview? A long time ago, Gabby was creating a business plan for Gabby Chic. Gabby turned to Kate Roberts Brady. Kate served as a friend and business mentor for a long time. Maybe Gabby could pay it forward. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, November 24th hint at some explosive moments in the land of Salem. Someone's life is in danger, while two characters have a heated confrontation, and an individual is cornered by a friend. Find out what's set to unravel on Monday's show, below. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, November 24th reveal that Sarah Horton Kyriakis' life is on the line. And this is all thanks to Rachel Black's scheming moves. While Sarah will likely be okay, it looks like the situation will offer some scary moments, so will the young girl's killer qualities finally come to the surface? Will Rachel get the help she needs? Speaking of, Brady Black will demand answers from his daughter. Will this become a life or death situation for Sarah? Across town, Marlena Evans will confront EJ DiMera. Marlena's health is declining, all thanks to the hospital cutbacks and a misdiagnosis. Will EJ do anything to help his former mother-in-law? The DiMera wealth and powers is vast, so surely EJ has some sort of pull to bring in specialists and help Doc get back on her feet. Speaking of Marlena, her daughter Belle Black will get some news from Kayla Johnson. Could this be about her mom's treatments and condition? Read this. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers. Rachel's mental institution. Stint. Problem child needs serious help. Finally, Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday imply that Leo Stark will be cornered by none other than his former best, Gwen Rizchek. Gwen's on a mission to deter Leo from learning any more than he should about EJ's secret lab. Will she be able to keep him off the beaten path, or will Leo be intimidated enough to back down? Fans will have to tune in to find out. What storyline are you most looking forward to during Monday's show? Share your thoughts. Tune into the Peacock Soap Daily and check out SOS often for the best Days of Our Lives updates, spoilers, and news. While one child opens up about a shocking act of violence, another longs for her missing father, according to the Days of Our Lives spoilers. Meanwhile, friends and family gather to celebrate Thanksgiving together at homes and venues around Salem. However, one father and son end up at the hospital where they pray for a loved one in crisis. Here's your day's video preview for the week of November 24 to 28, 2025. Brady has a heart-to-heart with Rachel at the hospital, where she begins to open up about a long-suppressed memory. "What do you mean, Rachel?" Brady asks his daughter. Rachel begins to tell her father the painful truth. "Mommy didn't shoot Uncle EJ," she reveals. Sweet Charlotte is missing her father, Chad, who isn't with his family on Thanksgiving Day. "I'm going to wish for Daddy to come back home," she declares to her grandmother, Jennifer, and big brother Thomas. A group of college pals toasts the special day together. "To friendship," says Ariana. Tate, Holly, and Aaron are all smiles as they raise their drinks and all clink soft drink cans. At Horton Square, Stephanie and Alex spend the afternoon with Chanel and Johnny. The foursome shares laughs and a toast of their own. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Belle pays her mom, Marlena, a visit. "Since you can't come home, we thought we would bring Thanksgiving to you," she tells her mother. Marlena is deeply touched by her daughter's gesture. Philip spends the holiday with the Hernandez clan, where he makes a toast that touches Gabby. "I'm thankful for loyalty, and for everyone who stood by me in good times and in bad," he says, as Rafe, Ari, Javi, and Leo look on. The Brady family gets together to celebrate at the pub. Kate, Kayla, Steve, Stephanie, and Alex are all on hand when Roman offers a few words of gratitude. "We thank you so much for our family, our friends, and our loved ones." Back at the hospital, Brady and Tate are standing vigil over Rachel's bedside. It seems the young girl has been admitted after recalling the truth about what she has done, namely shooting EJ. And all Brady and Tate can do is pray for her recovery. Dedra Hall has been a mainstay in Salem on Days of Our Lives since 1976, when she joined the show as Dr. Marlena Evans. She played the role until 1987, returned in 91, departed again in 2009 as part of a cost-cutting measure by the soap, and returned in 2011. She has remained one of daytime's favorite actresses, and Marlena is one of the most popular characters. Marlena's biggest storylines included her relationships with Roman Brady and John Black, as well as her possession by the devil in '95. In 1982, her character was killed off, which caused picketing at the studio where the show was filmed. It was actually the character of Samantha, played by Dedra's twin sister Andrea, who had been killed by the Salem Strangler. Hall's first recurring role was playing Nurse Sally Lewis on Emergency from 1972 to 1973. She co-starred on the show with soap alum Randolph Mantooth, who starred on As the World Turns, GH, Loving, and One Life to Live. From 1973 to 1975, Hall starred on a Y&R as Barbara Anderson. Barbara was brought in to provide the backstory for Brad Elliott. Brad and Barbara were previously engaged, and Barbara had a young son. When her son was critically injured, Brad, a neurosurgeon, operated on him but panicked during the surgery, and the boy died. Brad subsequently fled in guilt and assumed a new identity. Barbara eventually came to Genoa City and discovered Brad, revealing his true identity to the townspeople. During her time in Genoa City, Barbara became pregnant with Brad's baby but suffered a miscarriage. Recounting her early days on Soapy, Hall remembered spotting familiar and impressive faces during her screen test and thinking, "My word, look who's testing for this." Convinced she couldn't possibly be the top pick, she even turned down the role at first, saying, "There must be something wrong with this part, so I'm turning it down too." 3 weeks later, her agent corrected her doubts. "Yes, you were the first choice," leading to what Hall called her, "You like me, you really like me" moment. From that point on, she fully embraced the role, saying, "I love that part." Hall headlined ABC's Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. The actress played the role of Lori, who moonlit as superhero Dinah Girl. Lori and Judy may be reporters for Newsmaker magazine by day, but once their wrist-mounted electrocoms alert them to trouble, everything changes. With a quick Electra change flash of light, the duo transforms into Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. They then jump into their sleek Electra car and race to the scene, ready to take on any villain in true retro superhero style. The show lasted for only 1 season. Hall starred as Jessie Witherspoon on Our House from 1986 to 1988. After the shocking loss of her husband John, Jessie uproots her life in Los Angeles and moves her family to small-town California. Suddenly, Jessie is balancing single motherhood with the emotional needs of her 3 kids: rebellious teen Chris, preteen David, and little Molly. Living under the same roof as her widowed father-in-law, Gus, adds another layer of attention. A retired engineer with old-school values, Gus enforces a strict household that clashes with Jessie's more modern, independent approach. As everyone adjusts to their new reality, the family must learn how to bridge their differences and build a life shaped by love, loss, and the possibility of second chances. Hall was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on May 19, 2016, in celebration of her career, which shows no sign of stopping anytime soon. One family reunion continues, while a pair of popular leading men exit Days of Our Lives. Here's the soap's latest comings and goings casting news. Find out if any popular stars from yesteryear are boarding the show this week or in the near future, if any newcomers are joining the soap in contract, recurring, or day player roles, or which of your favorite actors have departed the Peacock drama for now. The family reunion continues for the Horton Devereaux clan. Matthew Ashford and Melissa Reeves receive prominent screen time as Jack and Jennifer. The duo shares scenes with Susan Seaforth Hayes' Julie and others this week. Casey Moss is back as the aforementioned super couple's son, JJ. He interacts with John Paul Lavoisier's Philip and Cherie Jimenez's Gabby on Wednesday, November 26th, and the Horton Devereaux clan on Friday, November 28th. Carrie Christopher pops in as Thomas DeMera. He airs on Friday, November 28th, opposite Ashford Seaforth Hayes and others. Alice Halsey returns as Rachel Black on Monday, November 24th. She shares scenes with her TV dad, Eric Martsolf's Brady, and Lindsay Godfrey's Sarah. She also airs on Thursday, November 27th. Louis Tomeo resurfaces as Aaron Green. His character has an awkward encounter with Raven Bowen's Chanel on Tuesday, November 25th. Here's everything you need to know about Tomeo. Tha'io Penkalis is back as Tony DeMera. Once again, he has scenes opposite Stacey Haiduk's Kristen. A pair of popular leading men wrapped up their recent visits to Salem. Brian Dattilo has completed his run as Lucas Horton, while Greg Vaughn has finished his stint as Eric Brady. Here is your Days of Our Lives spoiler sneak peek video for the week of November 24th, 2025. Thanksgiving is a time for families, and Days pulls out all the stops to tug at our heartstrings this year, with the Hortons, the Bradys, the Blacks, some friends, and some big surprises. When Brady takes Sarah to the hospital after the incident at the Brady pub, Rachel seems more pensive than ever and tells Brady that her mom didn't shoot Uncle EJ. Will she tell him that she remembers being the one who pulled the trigger? Clearly, something horrible happens to Rachel because she ends up in a hospital bed for the holiday, with Brady and Tate praying over her. Marlena is also still in the hospital, but Belle decides to bring Thanksgiving to Mom this year. Will Rachel wake up and be able to join them? Although they are missing Doug Williams on the first anniversary of his death, the Hortons forge ahead with trying to celebrate Thanksgiving. Jennifer plans the perfect family dinner, but there is someone missing, and Charlotte lets her know it. Charlotte tells her grandmother that her fondest wish for this Thanksgiving is that her daddy would come home and spend it with them. Will Jennifer start to realize that Thomas and Charlotte are better off with their father than they are with her and Jack? Maybe she will see that her custody suit isn't such a good idea after all, especially when she talks to Julie about it. Will her cousin put things in perspective? Philip is the unexpected guest for the holidays at the Hernandez house. Gabby really seems to like him, so the family tries to welcome Victor's youngest son with some awkward moments. The Bradys gather at the pub for Thanksgiving, where Roman gives a touching toast. And finally, friends get together in Marlena's apartment as Ari, Holly, Tate, and Aaron have a Friendsgiving celebration of their own. Days of Our Lives gives Belle Black single and ready to mingle. So, we want to talk about who is that special guy for Ms. Legally Blonde. And with EJ Dimera on Belle's naughty list, she is ready to move on. All right, so we all watched as Belle fell head over heels in love with her sister Sammy Brady's ex-husband, EJ. I really enjoyed their vibe as a couple. And if you remember a few years ago, Belle and EJ took a roll in the hay, and there was something there. There were some sparks, but then the old writing and production team ended it abruptly. That coincided with all the mass firings of a bunch of women, and Martha Madison exited Days, and that ended the whole Belle and EJ thing very abruptly. But now, Belle is back to stay, and she and EJ had another shot at love, and they both fell hard. I mean, Belle finally admitted that she loved EJ when he was shot and was comatose. But then, of course, as he does, EJ ruined things. While Johnny Dimera was on the stand testifying when he was charged with shooting his dad, his lawyer, EJ, forced Johnny to admit that Belle was dating him. EJ tried to get the judge to declare a mistrial due to a conflict of interest. Now, in EJ's defense, he was desperate to save Johnny, but what he brought out in court could have ruined Belle's career. However, the judge was astute, and she saw right through EJ's tactics, and that caused a very messy public breakup for Belle and EJ. And now, Belle has made it very clear she is done with EJ romantically, not just for now, but forever. Belle wants EJ to keep his distance from her as much as possible. We all know Belle and Sammy are not the best of friends. They're not the best of sisters. But Belle does see that Sammy was right when she told Belle that she's glad she figured out what EJ was about before things got more serious between them. And Sammy is glad that Belle figured out EJ's not the guy for her, but also, Sammy is probably a little jealous. But now what? So Belle remains dateless. And we saw Sammy leave town happily engaged to her new guy, Dante Vitale. And I do wonder if we're ever going to get to see this guy Dante. However, there is somebody perfect for Belle just waiting to ask her out on a date. They just have to find each other. Now we just saw Sean Douglas Brady finally back in Salem. He was on a trip to Europe. And we saw him comforting Belle, who is quite upset about her mom, Dr. Marlena Evans' health decline. Sarah Horton seems to have had a breakthrough and thinks it may be Lyme disease. So bottom line, the first guy we have to consider for Belle is her handsome ex-husband, Sean. He's not back on the scene for nothing. And there's a ton of shell shippers that are hoping that star-crossed lovers, Belle and Sean, finally make their way back to each other. We have seen a few tender moments between Belle and Sean, but not since this past summer. They had gotten closer when Sean was praying for a miracle cure for his dad, Beau Brady, Peter Reckel, who was in a life-and-death health crisis, dying of sepsis while still in that coma. At the same time, Belle had to say goodbye to her own father, John Black, after he was mortally injured in the drug lab explosion where he was getting the medicine to save Beau's life. So that was all quite bittersweet on Days of Our Lives, and they were very supportive of each other. Neither Sean nor Belle have other love interests right now, so maybe they're destined to be a duo again. But also, she just told Sean that she is putting herself out there looking for romance, and even signed up for the local dating app. We've seen a lot of singles using this app. Leo Stark. Soy yanit. In fact, just jazzed up Chad Demara's profile on the dating app because Leo said the one he set up was too boring. And after he tinkered with Chad's profile, guess what? Belle was stunned to see that she matched with Chad. And I mean, at least it would be a fresh thing. So, I could see him asking out Belle because Jennifer Horton is fighting Chad for custody, and Thomas Demara is so mad at his dad that he ran into traffic. You know, Chad might ask Belle out for a date to show the Hortons that he's really moving on from Kat Green, and he's not going to date her. Also on the dating app, we've got the newly returned to Salem, hunky 5th grade teacher Jeremy Horton. He is handsome, but he may or may not be redeemed. I personally think he's being set up for the Alex Kyriakis near-stabbing incident and the drink-drugging trick that just happened, but I could be wrong. And maybe Jeremy is still very bad. Even so, he could match with Belle, and the lovely lawyer might say yes to dinner with Jeremy. He previously matched with Jada Hunter. Boom. But that blew up when Jeremy said he used to date Stephanie Johnson. And of course, Jada has now moved on to Theo, who is also on the dating app. Now, we all know Belle seems to like bad boys, like her recent thing with EJ, so Jeremy might be perfect because on the surface, he doesn't look bad. Not right now. He's a school teacher, you know, he's around kids. He's sexy as heck, and he seems quite interesting. But he may be a bad boy on the inside with that cinnamon roll coating over him. So, Belle might like to give that a try. Another single guy in Salem is Dr. Mark Green. He just got out of Statesville prison after trying to shoot Chad. And we all know Mark was blackmailed by Clyde Weston, who was holding Mark and Kat's mom hostage and threatening to kill her. I will say it would be a little odd for Belle to date a recent parolee since Mark just got out of the slammer. But again, Belle may like a little walk on the wild side, and Mark is quite handsome, but he works for EJ and with Dr. Wilhelm Rolfe, so that could be a deal-breaker. Another hunk who is single and hot is Rafe Hernandez, so maybe he'll get on that dating app too and match up with the Lady DA. I could see Belle and Rafe sparking, if for no other reason than he's another of her sister Sammy's exes, which would make things messy. But remember, Belle was also icked out when Rafe's doppelganger, Arnold Feniger, tried to kiss her. So that might make her uncomfortable. Even though this version of Rafe is real and Arnold's gone, it still might be a little PTSD for her. And of course, we also know Belle and Philip Kyriakis a fling a while back. They've been married before. They've been off and on before, but he is with Gabby Hernandez now. And our trusty leaker told us Philip and Gabby are going to fall for each other, so I doubt he gets with Belle. We have to mention somebody who is newly single as of this week, and that is Xander Cook Kyriakis. We know that Sarah will always be his true love, but things are messy between them right now. Xander just signed divorce papers, and so did Sarah. So their marriage is going to be officially over as soon as those papers get dropped off at the courthouse. To me, though, Belle and Xander do not seem like a good fit. Plus, I expect Xander back with soulmate Sarah and Belle with somebody else over the next couple of months. Maybe it's Jeremy, but I think we would all prefer to see Belle with Sean.